gentlemen, our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
All right, there we go. We got it all working out now. Why is this down here like this? You should be this. And you should be on. There we go. Now we're all set to go. Qualifying underway here at Talladega. It was supposed to be the iRacing Super Speedway, but the admins of the Super Speedway series decided that they didn't want the iRacing Super Speedway, so we're racing here at Talladega. As you know, we were here last night for the FMA Xfinity. Now we're here with the Roughneck Racing James Wagoner Welding Super Speedway Series. And tonight we're racing in the Next Gen Cup. Now, if you remember, as we go through this series, the cars and tracks change every week. Last week we were in trucks. This week we're in the Next Gen cars. A little foggy here, so hopefully that fog will clear up a little bit for us here in the booth. I can only imagine what it looks like down on track for these drivers racing in the fog at the moment as qualifying is underway. Currently, your time is 53.882 by Larry Fairman. Now, that was until Eric Copperthorne come through and laid down a 53.813. Justin Hollings with an 53.883. And Robert Lynch there with a 53.886. Coming on down through off the straight there, in through the triangle here towards the stripe. That is, looks in that Jerome Cooper, as Cooper ends up in about 5th position with a 53.880. Ryan Hunter now brings it across with a 53.766 for a quick time here. Liam Beebe there in second with a 53.812. Minute and a half left of qualifying to go before we can get everything underway here this evening at Talladega for the James Wagoner Welding Super Speedway Series. Down here in the corner, number 3 and 4 goes Cooper. Minute left. Jeff Scott out there on track trying to lay down his quick time. Jeff Scott lays down, let's see here, a 55.460 at the moment. Brian Hennings out front with a 53.706. Over top of the 53.766 of Ryan Hunter. Jake Priscilla laying down a 53.6766 as well. What a time there as those two have kind of tied it across there. Matt Barker with a 53.805. Some great times rolling in as Jeff Scott is still out on track. Got a quick time there through Sector 1 as he rolls down through here in through the start-finish line. Down there across the bottom of Speedway, that 53.706. Now, question. I didn't realize they were allowed to go below the yellow line there to qualify. So, without further ado here, your starting grid tonight. Is that of Brian Hennings out front in first, Jeff Scott in second. Second row is Ryan Hunter in third on the inside with Jake Priscilla on the outside. Row number 3 on the inside in fifth position, that's Barker out there in the 96. His outside is Pylon Rowdy out there in the number 29 on the outside starting sixth. In row number 4, that is Liam Beebe on the inside in seventh position in that number 83 with Eric Copperthorne to his outside in eighth position driving at number 98 tonight. And back in row number 5 with Robert Lynch Jr. on the inside, starting tonight in 9th with the number 21. Johnny Hurst to his outside in the number 3, starting in 10th. Row number 6 is going to be Jerome Cooper on the inside in 11th, with Larry Fairman on his outside in 12th. Row number 7, that's going to be Justin Hollings starting 13th tonight on the inside, with Jonathan Vanderberg to his outside in 14th. Andrew Freeling out there in 15th position inside row number 8 with Edward Fieldler to his outside in 16th. Tyler Manning rolls off tonight in 17th. That's inside row number 9 with Chris Ramsey on the outside of row number 9 in 18th position. Tony Richards inside row number 10 in that number 19th spot. They're driving at number 52. James Wagoner for Wagoner's Welding is rolling off in 20th position. That's outside row number 10 here tonight. In that car number 30. That seems to be every starting grid here. Race info for tonight. We got a track temperature of 73 degrees with about 2.65 of a mile. Well, weather is going to be 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 97% humidity, partly cloudy with 1 mile per hour wind. So should be a good night for racing. We get started here tonight. Lights are out on that pace machine as we come down that long back straightaway. Everybody's lined up 2 by 2. Wagoner Welding, I do not see him. Oh, no, there he is. He is back there. I gotta say, for a moment there, he didn't want to register that he was back there. Does not look, well, no, they are. Okay, so we do got the field of 20 out on the Speedway. They roll down here in the corner number 3. Hopefully everybody's ready for some high-flying action. We'll have to keep an eye on Ace tonight as some talking before the race. Some people might say he had a target on his back, but we'll have to wait and see if that's true or not. They see that from before. Brian Hennings out front down there on the inside for James Wagoner Welding. There we go. Get ready for the start of the race. Green flag in the air. We are green flag racing down here in the corner number 1 to go. with Brian Hennings out there in front, but ends up dropping out there for a quick moment. Here they come now down into corner number 1. Side by side, that outside lane a little bit better together than what that inside row is, as Jeff Scott now goes to the lead up there on the outside, bringing with him Jake Priscilla, as Priscilla now drops down there to the inside lane to try to work his way to the front, side by side there for second and third. Or I'm sorry, for third and fourth as they come down that back straightaway. Everybody's still single file. You look on down through the pack. Everybody just trying to hang on to position. Jonathan Vandenberg out. Pretty cool tonight seeing him having that paint scheme on the car, as we saw that paint scheme this past Sunday for the Wood Brothers Racing Team. Now you got him down there. Oh, easy, guys. Don't get like that. You'll send the guy in front of you up into the wall if you end up catching the rear like that. They're out of that number 96 up, or I'm sorry, that's the 29 up Rowdy up there on the outside. Barker down here on the inside of that number 96. And you got Tylen and Scott working together up there on the outside. Priscilla leading the way down there on the inside of the Speedway. Everybody trying to work on through on lap number 2 of 50 here tonight. And we're coming down through the front tri-oval area, down here through the start zone and back across the stripe. 3 wide back there as they work around drivers. That was Jonathan Vandenberg in the middle there. Now down there on the bottom side of the racetrack, as you see Wagner up there trying to make something happen. They roll down the backstretch, a little bit of fog there setting in off of turn number 2. Down that back straightaway. Now we work down that back straightaway. You still got Priscilla out front with Brian Hennings there in second. Jeff Scott still trying to get that top line to move along and come up there into the front. As they work there all together off the turn number 4 down that straightaway. You can see there's a car way back there. I want to say that's Tyler Manning possibly. We got Tyler Manning, Tony Richards, and Andrew Freeling all running back there towards the back of the pack. Everybody else side by side at the moment. Now we've seen there with the 7 of Justin Hollings trying to make a way there. Almost trying to squeeze his way in the middle lane. I think it's a little too early for that at the moment, though, as we're still only on lap number 4 of the 50 here tonight. Jeff Scott got a mirrorful of Rowdy as they come down that backstretch. Heading into corner number 3 and 4. Rowdy up there to the outside, trying to push along that 38 of Jeff Scott. And they now work down the backstretch. Everybody side by side here as they come down through and through the tri-oval, heading towards that start line. Everybody spread out there on the top side of the racetrack. Nobody trying to really make a move. There's the 3 of Johnny Hurst trying to make his way up there towards the front. He's getting up there to the 98 of Eric Copperthorne. Now they go 3 wide. He's there in the middle, trying to figure out who's in the middle there with them. I want to say that's the 13 of Ramsey. That's stuck there in the sucker hole at the moment. Hard to see the number on that machine. And you got Wagner there in the middle with him. Rolling up there behind Eric Copperthorne as they will come here off at the corner. And down the short chute into the tri-oval. You see them, they're 3 wide here. On top is that number 3 of Johnny Hurst. And oh no, we got him sideways. Drivers down across the inside of the racetrack. Caution is out. As the 3 of Johnny Hurst has problems, and I'm trying to see who out. Oh no, the 36. Or no, 83, sorry. No, 99. There it is. The 99 has a 36 on the car. Ended up getting loose there. Trying to figure out who else was involved. We know Ramsey got a little bit of that. Coming there off the straightaway. You just kind of see them all shipped up into that outside wall, up in front of the 3. And then that's the 21. It looks like a Robert Lynch. Comes down across into the 30, or into the 99. 99 tries to stave it, keep it off the wall. And does so. So just a lot of cars everywhere. Nobody really getting into a big incident there. Great job there by the driver. And we all get caught back up to the pace car. We'll take a short commercial break and be back here in just a moment.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkes Road, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
All right, back here at the racetrack. Hopefully everybody's enjoying everything that's going on so far. See if we can get with, see if we can figure out anything here for us. Just trying to see if we had points somewhere. Don't quite have anything there, so, oh man. I don't think there's anything here. It looks like they are on here, so and it looks like we've got Liam Beebe out front with the 130 points. I think is what we got going on here. Hopefully I got this right. And you got Clyde Barker in second. Tim Richardson there in tied for second. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's looking right. Pyland sitting in fourth. As there was a tie for second, James Wagner fifth, Jeff Scott sixth. Larry Fairman there in seventh. So it does look to be that we got some point here. Getting everything got lined back up side by side here as they get started down into corner number 1. First caution of the night. All right, green flag back in the air. We're back racing as they hit that loud pedal down here, heading towards corner number 1. Rowdy down there, second car back on the inside lane. You got Jake Priscilla out there in front of him. Brian Hennings up there on the high side, trying to bring along with them that number 27 of Ryan Hunter. And they roll down here out of 2, side by side. Everybody, hang on to it there, pal. It seems like you're getting a little bit sandwiched as you work down that back straightaway. You got Scott there behind Rowdy. Working down through here, turns through 3 and 4. You got Matt Barker up there on the outside lane, right there in front of the 99 of Larry Fairman. AC Wagner's working his way down through the front, off there on the bottom side. Jeff Scott just made a move up there to the high side, up in front of Hennings. That's going to shift that momentum of that bottom lane there a little bit. You see Eric Copperthorne back here behind Ryan Hunter on that top side. And they roll down the back stretch. The pack sticking all together. Lap 11 of the 50 here. Down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Out front, it is still Jake Priscilla, Jimmy Pilan there in second. Back here for third, it's a battle between Jeff Scott and Jerome Cooper. Oh boy, hang on to it there, Rowdy, as everybody gets a little squirrely there off of turn 4. Everybody keeps it going. I'm not sure if anybody lost position. Ramsey now dropping all the way back to about 20th. As he gets shuffled back behind Jonathan Vandenberg. Rolling there through off of corner number 2. There they go, off of corner number 2. Lap number 12 on the board. Let's go ahead and try to heat it up a little. Back here on the Speedway. They're watching Jerome Cooper there in at number 72. Then roll around there on the bottom side of the Speedway. There behind him is James Wagner, otherwise known as Doogie. He jumps out of line, going to try to side draft a little bit. And he brings with him a 7 there of Justin Hollings. Can the two of them kind of hook up and work on the outside edge there, get around the 72 there of Jerome Cooper. We got the 48 there of Jake Priscilla trying to jump to the outside as well. Thought better of it, dropped back in line for the time being. Now you see that battle going on there between Jerome Cooper and James Wagner. Working down that outside lane is Doogie. Then work down here in the corner number 3 and 4. Heading back around towards that front straightaway. The first 4 all single file. Then you got the tack back a little bit there in the middle. Then you got them single file there behind them. as they work here off of 2. Everybody doing what they can. As you see, that 74 up there on, no, that's the 27, sorry, of Brian Hunter up there on the outside lane. He's falling back there to Wagner and company. That kind of gooped up that outside lane's run a little bit. Now that inside lane got quite the run. Now they're all single file. Now you see there goes Brian Hennings out to the outside. He's going to try to make a run there in that 74. As you see that 72 down there, Jerome Cooper. He's running down there through on the bottom side, down there along that double yellow line. Caution is out. See what this one brought out for. It looks like Robert Lynch. And Jerome Cooper. And what I'm showing here. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. No, Tyler Manning. Something to do with Tyler Manning. There you see the 78 of Tyler Manning coming down there across the nose of the 52 of Tony Richards. He gets it kind of straightened out, gets a little bit more of a bump, then it slides out down across the bottom of the racetrack. Keeps it through the grass, ends up bringing it back up. But that is going to be your caution. Down pit road, all the drivers come. Pit road becoming very busy here as Jeff Scott is the leader out front. Brian Hennings there in second as they all come storming down. Eric Copperthorne there in fourth. Ryan Hunter there fifth. Working on down through off. Oh, a little bit of contact getting into the pit stall there for the 21 of Robert Lynch. Now he's all out of sorts there trying to get service done to that machine. And they come rolling off. Brian Hennings out front, lap number 18 of the 50 here, complete so far. Lights on the pace machine. Hopefully everything's going well here tonight. These drivers are working on down through here. Everything's looking good. Everything getting all set back up again. Side by side. Or, sorry, single file here at the moment. Waiting to see when we go side by side. Looks to be. We're going to go side by side this lap. Getting ready for another green flag start as they roll down here through on the corner number 1. Heading down the backstretch. All right, here we go. Pace car looking to peel off. Getting ready for another restart here tonight. Long way to go still here with the restart zone in sight. See that 66 back here of Edward Fiedler on the bottom side. Trying to figure out who's on that top side. Is that the 11? That is. That's the 11 there of Andrew Freeling. Green flag back in the air, heading down here in the corner number 1. These drivers work together until they get up to full song through turns 1 and 2. A hop up, heading into off the corner here. Jerome Cooper there in 3rd, Eric Copperthorne 4th, Ryan Hunter there 5th, Jake Priscilla back there in 6th, with Matthew Barker back here in 7th, with Liam Beebe there in 8th. Trying to see who our biggest movers are at the moment, and so far that looks to be Doogie, who is running back here in 11th position. For James Wagoner Welding, up 10 spots. Now he's up there in the 10th, down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. About the 6th car back. Top side's trying to work together, peel off again, and try to get something moving. As Jeff Scott is leading that train up there. As you got Eric Copperthorne there in 2nd, down there on the inside lane. Jeff Scott really putting down the side draft up there on the high side, trying to get something to happen as they work here off the corner number 2 down that back straightaway. 74 out Brian Henning still out front with Eric Copperthorne there 2nd. Jake Priscilla there 3rd. Matthew Barker 4th. Johnny Hurst rounding out your top 5 as they come down here in the corner number 3. A little bit of shake and bake, a little bit of side drafting, and a lot of shaking going on as they come here through turn number 4 back out there onto the front straightaway. The top 4, single file, down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. Now the 3 there of Johnny Hurst jumps up in line, thinking about jumping up into line with the top line. Jeff Scott thought about going underneath, and Barker does so now. No, he doesn't. He's going to stick it back in line once again down here in the corner number 1. The 13 there of Chris Ramsey. He's rolling up there in the 5th down there on the bottom side as the top side is still struggling to get some type of momentum rolling down here through the backstretch once again. Lap number 22 on the board with Brian Henning, your leader. Eric Copperthorne down there in 2nd. As we got that 3 of Johnny Hurst leading that top lane. Matt Barker in 2nd up there on the high side. Working down through here off of turn 3 and 4. Everybody just trying to hang on. Everybody side by side here, back there, about 5th position and on back. As top 4 drivers still are single file down there on the bottom side. Now it's the top 3. As that top side now is getting some momentum as they work up there beside of Copperthorne. coming here out of 2. Now they work on down the back straightaway. You got that 74, Brian Hennings down there on the inside with Eric Copperthorne there in second. Johnny Hurst in second now as they get that top line moving. Eric Copperthorne's trying to battle down there on the inside lane. That top lane is getting moving now as they head on down through turn 3 and 4. Brian Hennings out front. Eric Copperthorne there second. Johnny Hurst there in third. Jake Priscilla there in fourth. Matthew Barker back there fifth. James Wagoner in sixth. Jeff Scott in seventh with Ryan Hunter back here in eighth. As they keep on rolling, Chris Ramsey there in ninth. Larry Fairman there in 10th. As they all spread out there, now down the backstretch. Brian Hennings out front. Johnny Hurst there in second on the outside lane, bringing with them Matthew Barker. As they work down here into the backstretch. The 98 of Eric Copperthorne down there on the inside lane below the number 3 of Johnny Hurst as they roll down the backstretch now. 24 of the 50 here on the board. Soon to be 26 laps to go. Down here through the corner. As we head back around towards the front straightaway, you got that 96 there of Barker sitting up there, second car back on the outside lane as they roll down the back the short chute heading towards the tri-oval. Down here into that tri-oval it goes, and it looks like it's going to be Hurst possibly with the lead up there on the top side at the moment. Coming across the stripe, he does have it with Barker there in second. As they roll down here in the corner number 1 and 2 once again. Down there on the inside lane, that is the 74 of Brian Hennings. Now there you see Barker getting a great run. Down there on the inside lane, he's going to try to fight for the lead on the bottom side of Johnny Hurst as they roll down the backstretch. Everybody looking side by side here as they roll down the backstretch. You can kind of see how they stagger. And part of that staggering is to keep the engines cool as they roll down the backstretch here into the corner. Now, if you stay in behind the driver in front of you too much, you could end up getting that engine too hot and have problems. As you see that inside lane now comes back together. Leading the race now is Johnny Hurst. Jeff Scott there in second. Jeff Scott having a heck of a run here tonight. Johnny Hurst up 9 positions. Larry Fairman up 7. Wagner up 8 or 9, depending on where he's at on the track, as he's trying to battle his way up there towards the front. Drivers all over the place coming here out of turn number 2, down that back straightaway once again. And I would see them all working together. Side by side, third on back. Jeff Scott pushing along Johnny Hurst out there in front. 3 wide, a little farther back. Jonathan Vanderberg blinked out or something back here. Andrew Freeling way back there. Not sure what happened to him. And just like that, I'm unsure what happened to Vanderberg as well. Vanderberg's showing out, so he might have dropped. He might have had a connection drop there in that number 26. And rolling back out in the back stretch here. The 83 down there on the inside, that is of Liam Beebe. 3 wide back there with the 13 of Chris Ramsey in that sucker hole. Now he comes trying to fight his way through, but still there's that car up on his outside. That's dropped back a little bit now. That was trying to catch what number that is. That's 72 possibly of Jerome Cooper. Everybody tries to fight back down here through cross in the corner number 1. 23 laps to go. Drivers are all side by side. Barker sitting up there, second car back on the outside road. Got Jeff Scott, second car back on the inside road. Those lines being led by Brian Hennings and Johnny Hurst. Johnny Hurst down on the inside, trying to get along by Brian Hennings. Which lane's going to prevail? Which lane's going to have more momentum? Here as we roll through in the corner number 3 and 4, heading back into the short chute. Off the corner they go. .22 laps to go. They come to the line. Side by side. That outside lane prevailing a little bit through the tri-oval. That's going to give that lap to Brian Hennings. I see Jeff Scott down there on the inside trying to push that 3 of Johnny Hurst up towards the front. Everybody's still a little squirrely, a little bit back and forth there behind. And, whoa, hang on to it there. Johnny Hurst, you don't want to lose it there in the middle of the pack like that. As you now have the 48 of Jake Priscilla drop down there to the inside lane. Now you also have Matt Barker and Brian Hennings drop down as well as they work there off of 4. And Johnny Hurst there in the 3 tries to get back up there towards the front. Side by side as they roll here off into turn number 1. Everybody side by side. Doing what they can to battle their way back forward. Brian Hennings up there in front. Matthew Barker there in second. Jake Priscilla there third. Johnny Hurst there fourth. Larry Fairman now up to fourth as he tries to battle up there on the outside lane. Bringing that outside lane up through now. Right behind him is Doogie in that number 30 for James Wagoner Welding down there through that outside lane, trying to see where their momentum can be. The 13 of Chris Ramsey also trying to battle up there on the high side as here comes the number 72 of Jerome Cooper. Or I'm sorry, that's not Jerome Cooper, that's the 52 I've been trying to call. No, it's not the 52. Who is that up there? That's the 78. I'm sorry, that's Tyler Manning. See what happens when I can't read the number right? Tyler Manning up there in 11th, now 12th, as they roll down here through the back straightaway once again. With Brian Hennings out front, Barker Ace there in second, Johnny Hurst there third. Man, what a race we have going on tonight, folks. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the Roughneck Racing Become Elite James Wagoner Welding Super Speedway Series. And as we said before, this race was supposed to be at the iRacing Super Speedway, but the drivers and admins of this league decided against that. So we're racing here at Talladega tonight. Next week's race, if y'all want to tune in for the James Wagoner Welding race next week, we're going to be at I'm saying that we're going to be back at Talladega, but I don't see if that's going to, I'll have to see if that's right or not. And it's showing Gen 4. So we'll be in the Gen 4s next week for sure. As for what track, that is yet to be seen. Now they roll down here through off the corner. Now you got that 99 there of Fairman trying to work his way. He's that 36 Skittles car on the speedway. Hennings now, or I'm sorry, Hurst jumps up to the outside, coming through the tri-oval. 19 laps to go. Now it's going to be, soon to be 18 laps as they come across the line. Hurst now back out front there, followed by Jake Priscilla as they roll down here in the corner number 1 and 2. The 74 of Hennings down there on the bottom side. Hurst drops down in front of Hennings. That's going to allow that number 48 there to try to gain back up there and get in front as well. Here comes Doogie and some other drivers battling up there towards the front. Down that back straightaway. 18 laps to go as they head down here in the corner number 3. Doogie drops down there into that inside lane. That's going to give him third spot. He gets underneath the 99 of Fairman. Fairman has to check up and go up top. As you got the 48 there of Jake Priscilla now down there on the bottom side. Doogie trying to work his way up there to battle his way towards the lead. As everybody else is up there on the outside, we got them 4 cars strong on that outside lane. Now 5 cars strong. Is it enough, though, as that inside lane is stronger? Got more cars than that. They are single file back towards about that 8th position with Jeff Scott down there on the inside in 7th. Ramsey's on the outside at 8th. Rolling on down through here now. As Scott jumps up, maybe thinking about the outside lane, but thinks better of it as they roll down here through turns 1 and 2, heading back out onto that back straightaway. Oh, my bad. No, we're coming into the short chute here, coming out of 4. Now down here in through the tri-oval. Coming to 16 laps to go. As Hurst jumps to the outside, he's going to see if he's got to run through the tri-oval. Anybody going to join them? Does not look like anybody's going to join them as of yet, so that's going to shuffle them back a little bit. Hurst back to about 5th right now. Dropping back to about 6th. Now 7th, and that inside lane just passes them by. You got 3 cars there now. You got one coming up there. That's Liam Beebe. He's going to try to jump up there and help that 99 along. Oh, I'm sorry, no, the 3 of hers. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong cars. Jake Persilia out front with Doogie there in 2nd. Brian Hennings 3rd. Everybody single file back here until you get to that 11. Of Andrew Freeling, who's a lap down. Jonathan Vandenberg also laps down, unsure if he came back or not, or if he's just out due to connection issue. We'll see here as they come out of corner number 2. That ticker coming across the top, kind of let you know where everybody is. And Wanger, they're in 2nd. Brian Hennings, they're 3rd. Matthew Barker, they're in 4th. Jeff Scott in 5th. Larry Fairman, they're in 6th. Chris Ramsey, they're 7th. Johnny Hurst, they're in 8th. Liam Beebe, they're 9th as they roll down through here. Everybody doing what they can to try to gain as much track position as they can. And it looking like we got Freeling is -1. Vanderberg is out. O'Doogie's trapped up there in the middle of Hennings and Persilia. As you got Scott rolling in there behind him. There's also Barker trying to roll his way back up there towards the front. You got that 99/36 of Larry Fairman there behind Scott. And then behind him is Chris Ramsey in that number 13. Wagner, though, what a night for him as he is up 18 positions here, running 2nd now as they are single file down the backstretch. Jake Persilia down here through off of the corner. Everybody does what they can there. Doogie now tries to see if maybe he's got momentum. Does not quite have it there as Henning is coming. Does Hennings try to get up there with Doogie, and do they try to go around at number 48 of Jake Persilia, or are they just testing the waters to see here as time is, or as laps wind down here, 13 to go. About a 50-second lap time here for these leaders. They roll here off of the tri-oval back down here in the corner number 1. It is 12 laps to go. Everybody single file here as they roll into corner number 1 and 2. Out front is Jake Persilia, James Wagoner there in 2nd, Brian Hennings there 3rd, Matthew Barker in 4th, Jeff Scott there 5th, Larry Fairman is in 6th. Quick Chris Ramsey rolling off in 7th here so far. As we got James Wagoner, as we said, up there in 3rd, as he did jump to the outside lane to see if he can get anywhere. He's got Jeff Scott now behind him. Cannot quite get there as of yet, so there's going to be some back and forth, I'm sure. Doogie Dow jumped back in line down there on the inside row, along with Jeff Scott. Doogie now trying to see if he can get around that 13 of Chris Ramsey. 11 laps to go now. Spaced out down there on the bottom side a little bit. Brian Hennings now trying to see if what he can do up there with Jake Persilia. Eleven laps to go. Everybody single file. Brian Hennings there 2nd. Jake Persilia out there in front. Here you can see everybody single file. Drivers peeling off, going to the pit road. Trying to get them slowed down. Johnny Hurst Oh boy, that looked to be the 11 there, possibly, or is... Oh, that's not. That's somebody back here. That's the 83 of Liam Beebe. You're having troubles getting it slowed down and into the pit road. Ten laps to go. It could get quite interesting here with last-minute pit stops to make it to the end. We're hearing more call-outs. Who comes in this time? There goes Matt. Or no, that was Doogie. Doogie dropping off and coming in along with Jeff Scott. Now we got Jerome Cooper coming in along with... That's the 21 that couldn't quite get it slowed up and locked down enough. And 52 comes into his pit. Rolling down here through off of the corner. We'll see if the leaders come in. As Jeff Scott, James Wagner are coming on back out. Now here comes your leaders coming in. Persilia, Hennings, Barker, Fairman, Rimsey. Copperthorne, he's on his way in. Edward Fielder also on his way in. Jimmy Pilan, where's he going to do? He's coming in. So now we got them up here, Jeff Scott and James Wagner rolling around here off the corner. Can they get around here and try to recapture the lead as Hennings, Barker, and them are coming out of the pits at the moment, heading back around. So this could get interesting here to see how this all works out. Hennings, Barker, Chris Ramsey, Copperthorne all come through. Wagner coming down there through on the bottom of the racetrack. Along with them, you've got that, well, somebody sideways down there. That's Chris Ramsey spinning it out down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. Caution flag is out. There you see him down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. And missed a shift or something. Let's go on board and see if we can decipher what he did here. Oh, he forgot to shift. That's what it was. He forgot to shift. See if we can see the puff of smoke coming out of this. Yeah, there it is. There's the puff of smoke coming out of that 13. And that thing just blew up. All right, things are going to get interesting now. Everybody pitted. Now everybody is back up here in line. First car, one lap down, is Robert Lynch in that number 21. Johnny Hurst also lap down in that number 3. Liam Beebe lap down here in the 83. Tony Richards in the number 52, also a lap down. Wow, was not expecting that one to happen, were we? Good evening here, Chris. How's it going?
It could be better tonight. Not real good. I blew my engine.
Well, yeah, that's why I kind of brought you in here. We saw you exiting pit road just fine, and then all of a sudden it just blew up on you.
Yeah, it was a shifting issue.
Forget the shifter. It didn't want to shift.
Yeah, well, no, it down. For whatever reason, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, it blew the engine, so I mean, I'm out of the race right now. I'm just waiting to get towed back and get fixed, and I'll try to get back out, try to finish the race.
Well, hopefully that team can find you another spare engine laying around to help get you back out there, but we'll have to see. There's only 6 laps to go.
Yeah, we'll see. I may be able to get back out and get a couple laps in. If not, then my race is over for the night.
Well, that's a tough break there, and hopefully you'll be back next week.
Yep, it is what it is. Stuff happens, and we'll just we'll go back into it next week and try it again. But before we get off, just want to thank our sponsors as well, Wagoner Welding and Race Control and sponsors that we have with the broadcast. I just want to thank everybody for putting this together every week.
It's always a pleasure, and maybe make sure your whoever you have servicing your car, make sure they go through it with a fine-tooth comb next week. Make sure you don't have any issues.
That's what we will do. That'll be the plan. We'll work with the team.
Alrighty, have yourself a great night, Ramsey.
I appreciate you. Just saying. Thank you.
All right, that Chris Ramsey. Tough break there as it blew up on them. They're coming out of the pits. Six laps to go. Be 5 to go and we come to the line. I don't think, unfortunately, Ramsey is going to be able to get back out here. You're seeing there Robert Lynch down there. Kind of a blessing for him there. He's still on the back of the lead lap. Lights are out on the pace car. Down that back straightaway. Eric Carpethorne back here on the bottom side. Second car back. Brian Hennings out front. Barker Ace there in second on the outside. Eric Carpethorne there in third. Jeff Scott there fourth. Tyler Manning in fifth. James Wagoner sitting back there in sixth. That's third car back on the inside. So actually he's in fifth. As at 78 up, Tyler Manning is in sixth up there on the high side. And they come down here through on into that restart zone. Heading towards that start-finish line. All right, down here towards corner number 1. 4 laps to go. Everybody side by side, hang on to it down there on the bottom side. Don't want to get touch that apron too bad. It looks like Copperthorne thought about dropping down there a little too far. I see everybody side by side trying to get back up through here. Down that back straightaway. 3 wide there with the 98 in the middle. That's going to be Doogie trying to force his way down there next to that yellow line. Down there working his way up there towards the front. As he now works his way up there in the 7th position after dropping back a little bit there at the start of the race. That outside lane kind of fell apart. Now drivers are trying to figure out who can they work with, who's not going to work with them. Oh boy, squeezing it in there. That's going to shove Doogie down there below the yellow line. That's at 48. Jake Brasilia squeezes it in underneath the 66 of Edward Fielder. Now Fielder, oh boy, they're in the middle, and there they go. Back around, caution is out. Green light checker here tonight as the 66 of Edward Fielder goes around as they have some issues coming here through the corner. Caution number 3 on the night. Here we see it. As you can see, the 7 and the 66 coming together. The 7 comes down, gets into the corner there of Jerome Cooper. Or I'm not Jerome Cooper, that's the 27. That's Ryan Hunter. Shane Wagoner moving up there through, trying to work on getting up there towards the front. Jeff Scott back down here through off the back straightaway now, air into the back stretch. Everybody tries to catch up to the pace car. Think they're going to only get crazier here. We'll take another commercial break and be back here in just a moment.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.
All right, back here at the racetrack. Lights are still on. Green, white checker. Tony Richards getting a lucky dog. Coming around on the outside, going by the pace car. Getting his lap back. Waiting on everybody to get lined back up here. Having said it's green, white checker. Barker out front, Scott there in second. Got the 72 of Jerome Cooper up there on the outside as they get side by side here. Jeff Scott down there on the up there on the outside front row. Jerome Cooper on the outside. Got Tyler Manning in that 78 down there on the inside. Rowdy is in the pits. Damage on that race car. There you got Chris Ramsey sitting there with a blown motor. Going to be 2 laps to go, and we come back to the green flag here tonight to finish this one out for the James Wagoner Welding Super Speedway Series with Jeff Scott up there on the outside, Matt Barker on the inside. Which lane is going to prevail here in these next couple of laps to bring home the victory? Tyler Manning up 14 spots from where he started, sitting up there in that second spot on the bottom side. You got James Wagoner not too far behind him. Also up about 13 or 14 spots down there on the inside row as well. Getting ready to come here out of turn number 4. Drivers signed up side by side. Who's it going to be as they roll out here through off of turn number 4? Pace car is going to drop down. Who's it going to be? Jeff Scott out there in second. Matt Barker out there in front. Everybody side by side, rolling down here off the corner. Pace car down below the yellow lines. He's heading towards pit road. Now it's handed over to our control car there of the 96. Barker. In the restart zone, we are back. Green flag racing here. They come down to the stripe. 2 laps to go. Next line 5 will be the white flag here at Talladega. Down here in the quarter number 1, Wagner hanging back a little bit there on the start. Now he's going to try to see if he can muscle his way back up there as he gets underneath the 48 of Jake Brasilia. That outside lane's not really going much of anywhere as Jeff Scott falls back to about 3rd. Down in the 4th as Brian Hennings comes down there on the low side. Now that outside lane starts to get something together. As we got Jeff Scott up there on the outside, leading that one along. Barker down here on the inside lane. We've got Hennings now, that's not Hennings, that's the 78 of Manning. Go to the inside, or into the middle, into that sucker hole, falling backward now as they come here out of 2. Down here across the stripe. Final lap. Jeff Scott now out front. Big wreck behind. Up and over goes. Was that Doogie that went up and over? I believe it was. Doogie up and over. His race done there. Coming into corner number 1. Jeff Scott now out front. We'll take another look at that here when the race is finally over. Working down through the front stretch. Working down through the back stretch into corner number 3. Jeff Scott out front. Jake Brasilia there in 2nd. Matthew Barker there in 3rd. Jerome Cooper and Larry Fairman there 5th. As they work on down through here out of turn number 4. Back down here through the short chute. Jeff Scott now accompanied there from the 48 there of Jake Brasilia getting a run through the restart zone. Out here, what a run. Gets that lead, comes across there and finishes there in first. Jeff Scott in 2nd with Barker sitting there 3rd. Take a look back here now as we come across the line here. You see Doogie there trying to work his way up there, kind of just sandwiches that 74, backs off a little bit, and trying to see what happened. Oh, it was 78. It happened behind him. 78 tries to make a hole where there is not a hole. Gets that 21. Sideways, they come down into Doogie's door, picks Doogie up, and just starts a roll as it comes up into the outside wall. Up and over goes Doogie onto his roof. Up into the outside wall. Now he gets hit there. Up into the catch fence. Now he comes rolling back down the Speedway. So I guess he didn't do a complete 360. Man, what a tough break there. Jeff Scott, your winner. All righty, now let's go and see if we can get with our winners. I thought, hold on a moment, we're going to get the race results. Yeah, it's Jake Brasilia as the winner, not Jeff Scott. Jake Brasilia wins it. Jeff Scott in second. Matthew Barker there in third. Jerome Cooper there fourth. Larry Fairman there fifth. Brian Hennings in sixth. Brian Hunter seventh. Tyler Manning in eighth. Edward Fielder tonight finishes in ninth. Eric Copperthorne in 10th. Tony Richards there in 11th. Robert Lynch there in 12th. James Wagoner in 13th. Justin Hollings 14th. Johnny Hurst there 15th. Liam Beebe 16th. Andrew Freeling there in 17th. 18th, that's going to go to Rowdy, as Chris Ramsey finishes tonight 19th, Jonathan Vanderberg in 20th. Alrighty, as we get to everybody, let's go ahead and get to your podium, starting with Barker. Good evening there, Matt. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going fairly well, and well, you finished third tonight.
Yeah, what a race! It was pretty exciting, start to finish, for sure.
Well, I think we only had 3 or 4 cautions through the night, so that's not too terrible.
We had a bad pit stop there early, put us back in the field, and but we overcome it. I don't know how it happened, but we gained all the positions that we lost plus some that put us back in contention. I want to say, because I mean it's still hard to pass here with the way things were going tonight anyway. It seemed like the cars, but these cars here, they get stretched out more. So these next gens are a little bit different from what we're used to running. But all in all, good night. We try to stay consistent and be smart, make smart moves, you know, and luck wasn't on our side. We set ourselves up there in the late going. Thought we put ourselves in the right position. But this draft just didn't help. It just didn't play out.
It just was not there to help you at all.
But I enjoyed it. Everybody I run around tonight, they raced hard and they raced clean. That's all you can ask for. It was all in all, like I say, it was great points for us. I don't know where we'll walk out of here at. I actually wasn't even supposed to be here tonight, but fate had it to where I could get. Very fortunate to be here. Just happy for another good run.
Happy that I was hearing before the race there might have been a little bit of a target for you, but I guess that target kind of ran out, huh?
Yeah, well, I knew it wasn't coming. I mean, it's all funny, but we were me and him. We were racing hard there for a few laps. Tried to go down, you know, because a lot of times, you know, I wanted to sort of control both lanes there, you know, even though we wasn't running together tonight. I just wanted to get on the bottom. I feel more comfortable on the bottom a lot of the time. So, but it worked out. I mean, I'm happy with our performance, teammates. I think we run good for a while. Then they got into one of the accidents. They had a little bit of trouble there. they just couldn't make their way back front. So I had to make some new friends tonight while I was up front.
Well,
So,
who's your sponsors and shout-outs you want to thank here for helping get up there in that third place podium position?
James, give a big shout out to James Wagoner Welding. He will forever be my sponsor as long as I race. Can't say enough about that man. He does a lot for us, broadcasting, you know, and just making sure we have what we need to race, you know. So, heck of a guy. I know we shout him out every week, but in all honesty, we can't shout him out enough for what he does. And I'd like to thank all my friends that are watching tonight, my wife, you know, everybody, all my teammates. Unfortunately, Tim couldn't be here tonight, and I hate that for him. Because he runs good at this track and these cars. This is actually his favorite car. So he'd have definitely been up front tonight. But just big shout out to everybody in the league who makes this each and every time we show up, you know. I just hope we put on a good show for you, Shannon.
All right. Well, congrats again to the getting that third place tonight, and hopefully that'll help carry some momentum as we go into next week, which I guess we're going to have to wait and see what that is, huh?
Yes. To be determined.
Because I got it on the schedule as Talladega Gen 4s, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be Gen 4s, and we're just unsure of the track.
Yeah, this was the week we was going to propose to run iRaces. Switch to the schedule from here on out the same. So yeah, we should be back at Dega in the Gen 4s now.
Okay. Yeah, because you were supposed to be at ISS tonight, and it got switched. But congrats again for that third place.
Hey, appreciate it.
You have yourself a great night.
Hey, you too, brother.
Alrighty, now we'll get with Jeff Scott, our second place finisher. Good evening, Scott. How's your night going?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Well, I'm going pretty well, and unfortunately, you didn't quite hold off that run from Jake.
No, there's really nothing I can do. He was pushing me, and we got good speed, but when you come out of that back stretch like that, and he's just going to run on somebody, and it just makes it a little easier to pass him.
Yeah, he definitely had to run coming out of 4.
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah, I knew there wasn't nothing I could really do. I could have went on his doors, but I didn't want to repeat it last week. I didn't feel like being upside down tonight. But,
that wasn't fun?
It was fun, yeah. He did a good job pushing me in the end there, and I'm glad because it disconnected us between the other cars, so I knew I was finishing in the top 3, didn't matter. So I was already happy at that point.
Well, yeah, you definitely did a great job there finishing there and getting the second place finish tonight. Who's your sponsors and shout-outs you want to give for helping you get them into that second place?
Well, I'd like to thank James Wagoner and James Wagoner's Welding for sure. I mean, I said before, without him, I wouldn't be here racing, and my teammates, you know, Dougie and Justin. You know, Dougie, he's like a coach. He's always there, so we're racing together. And unfortunately, again tonight, we didn't get a hookup again. But I saw him next to me a couple of times, and just, oh man, I tell you. One of these times we're going to get together and we're going to rule this roost, I tell you right now.
Well, he was getting up there. It's just unfortunate he's the one that ended upside down this week.
Yeah, that sucks when that happens. I didn't know what happened behind me. I saw smoke and white flag, and I don't know. But yeah, definitely want to thank James Wagoner once again, and my daughter and my wife. But really, it's just it's about having fun, and Monday night draft tracks. It's becoming one of my favorites because it's a lot more laid back. I mean, it's more. You have to concentrate more, but it feels more laid back when you like have a cruise control set, say behind somebody, and I don't know, you're just waiting for your turn to take a jab at somebody else, and it's kind of fun. A lot
Yeah.
harder than most people think, but it really is fun. So yeah, and Jake, in the end there, he pushed me, and he felt like a teammate for a second there, and he got around me and won the race. So congratulations to Jake. I hope he feels good. He said he was feeling pretty happy, so I think he probably needed it more than I did tonight.
Alrighty, well, congrats there for getting that second
thank
place tonight.
Hey, it's not like having a little quit, Brian. But hey, take care, buddy.
You too, Jeff. Have a great night.
You as well.
Good evening, Jake. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Can you give me a little bit of education on how to say that last name of yours?
Actually, you kind of say it right. It's got a bunch of different pronunciations, but Paracelia is perfectly fine.
Well, congrats on getting your win here tonight in the Roughneck Racing Super Speedway Series. Kind of were up and down tonight from what I was seeing, but had great runs up there towards the front. Were you expecting to kind of finish this one out up front like that?
Yeah, not like a yeah, as in, I'm the best out there, but no, not at all, honestly. The car felt really good tonight. I just felt my steering wheel and everything was just dead on tonight, and I think I just got a little bit of a break tonight. It's been a really rough couple of last races for me, but to be up front that much and to finish one out feels really nice.
Well, we know you got a great run coming off of 4 to get yourself in position around Jeff Scott. And Scott knew once you pretty much had that run off of 4, there wasn't much he could do to slow you down.
Yeah, I was telling him, we were kind of talking after the race, and, that's exactly what he said. And I just told him, I just tried to stay with him, and I saw Ace come in, and I was like, uh-oh, here we go. And it just kind of worked out in my favor with being right there with him at the very end.
Well, always a fun, exciting time whenever you can get that last corner pass, too. It just makes a win really that much more enjoyable sometimes.
Absolutely, and this being my first win, this is awesome. It feels great. I'm one of the newer guys coming in this season, and it just feels real nice. Me and Tim, he's not here tonight, but me and him talked before the race. He said go get him, and now I'm happy to say that I did.
Well, you did a great job, and congrats there tonight, getting that win. And sponsors and shout-outs you want to give here for helping you get that top podium finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank Wagoner Welding for sure. All the guys that put this Roughneck Racing together, and I want to thank 760 for this badass paint scheme that he gave me for this next gen car. And I just want to thank everybody that's a part of this Roughneck Racing crew, and let's keep going this year. Let's have a good year.
Alrighty, well, congrats again for getting that victory here tonight, and we'll see how this momentum carries over into next week.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, have yourself a great night there, Jake.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right, that was Jake, our winner here tonight. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the racing as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you here at Flicker Farm TV on the pole here tonight. Signing off, saying thank you so much for watching.
Roughneck Racing would like to thank our sponsor, Wagoner Welding. Wagoner Welding is a family-owned and operated business located in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. They specialize in custom-built truck beds and framework of all types. You can reach them at 336-670-3427 or visit the shop located at 446 DeHart Church Road.